Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we're working on one of them two-wheeled trimmers. This is a DR trimmer made by Country Home Products. The customer bought it at an auction, so I really don't know history about it. I pulled the rope. It does have compression. In fact, it even has electric start on it. So we'll just start with the simple stuff. Clean the carburetor, clean the tank, make sure it has a good spark. See if we can't get it running. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, this tire is kind of in the way of the carburetor. The carburetor is sitting right here, so we're just gonna go ahead and pop this tire off so we have more room to work. There we go. Now we get to the bolts and everything for the carburetor right there. 5/16. Definitely gonna replace the air filter. Okay, there's oil and old gas and sitting inside the carburetor. I don't know if they had it on its side or what. Let me check the oil, see how much oil is in there. Oil's way too full. The crosshatch is way down here to full right there, and it's way up to here. So oil's clean, but we're definitely gonna take some out of there. So I'll get the vacuum pump started on that while we're taking the carburetor off. Yeah, on these small engines, too much oil is just about as bad as not having enough. There's even water. There's water in the oil. Go ahead and put some new oil in there. Usually only takes like 16 ounces, like a half a quart, to fill one of these up. It's a six horse Briggs on there, Intech. Now we'll go ahead and pop that carburetor off. And them bolts are a 3/8. Better pop that fuel line off real quick. It's easier to take that fuel line off with the carburetor still attached. Well, I'll let that drain, and when it's done draining, we'll finish taking the carburetor off. Okay, the gas is all drained now. I'm gonna clean that off before we start tearing it apart. And I notice this key switch, that's broke too. So we definitely have to replace the key switch. Okay, I kind of got the outside somewhat clean. A lot better than it was, but on these here, it's a 1/2 inch wrench to take that bottom bolt / jet. The jet's built in this bolt down here. It's kind of stuck, so they'll use like a little screwdriver just to gently pry that. Don't want to bend the bowl or nothing like that, but stuck pretty good. There you go. You can see the soft plug popped out of it too. The soft plug goes right there. And they put them there because something like this in this motor is going through really rough terrain. And with that soft plug there, it'll prevents the gas splashing up inside the venturi of the carburetor. So we're just going to go ahead and boil this carburetor out and put a kit in it. And inside here, there's a little rubber seat for the needle. Just kind of twist it back and forth a little bit. Then just take your air gun and blow right in there, and it should pop right out. And you can see it's gone now. We'll put a new needle and seat in the carburetor kit in this. Okay, we got it all boiled out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put that soft plug. Put that soft plug in here. Make sure it's in there nice and square. Then just take a flat-headed punch and just hit it in the center, and it will spread out. Okay, now we can put the seat in. And on these seats, one side looks kind of rigid, and the other side looks nice and smooth. That smooth part, that's what you see when you put it in there. You don't want the rigid side up. Kind of get in there kind of square. Then I have a 3/16 inch drill bit with a nice flat surface on the end. There's no spurs on or nothing. I just use this bit for doing this particular thing. You got to put it in there and you press down on it and it'll lock it into place. And it's in there all the way in there. Then just take your air hose and just kind of gently blow in there. Make sure there's no debris on top of that seat. Then if you don't boil out your carburetor or whatever, just make sure that hole in the center there that goes up in the venturi, the carburetor is nice and clear. And on your jet, there's your jet right there on this bolt that holds the bowl on. Just take a nice piece of skinny wire and clean it out, then shoot some carburetor cleaner in there. Make sure it's nice and clean. I'm going to go ahead and put our bowl gasket on. Now we'll grab our needle and hook it onto our float. And take our pin. And put in like that. Put that gasket on your jet. Snug it up. Then go ahead and tighten it. And there, the carburetor's all ready. But before I put it back on, I'm going to change the spark plug and change that key switch out before we put the carburetor on, because that might be in the way of the key switch. So pop out that spark plug real quick. You can tell a lot by how our engine's running by looking at the spark plug. And you can tell it's been burning oil. But that could have been because it was like twice as full as it's supposed to be. So we're just going to go ahead and put a new Briggs spark plug in there. And make sure it's gapped right. Between 33 and 35 thousandths. Or whatever your manual says to do on your particular motor. Get this tightened up here. Put the spark plug wire and boot on, make sure it clicks. See that key switch, how it's just plain wore out, so. Go ahead and unplug the back and I'll take this nut off. Grab a new one here. See on the new one. It don't spring back or nothing. We'll stick this in there, the flat sides to the top. Go ahead and tighten that up, then we'll get on that, putting that carburetor back on. Okay, now we're ready to put the carburetor on. Just gasket spacer will go on first, but it's a lot easier to hook up this linkage from the governor rod. Get that put in first. Now we can put our spacer in. Get it halfway lined up so we can put our bolts in. Let's kind of get this one started here. Now we'll go and get them nice and snug. Now I already blew out the tank. Because you do all this to carburetor, you might as well drain your tank. Blow it out really good. Make sure there's no debris in there. That way nice clean gas will go into a nice clean carburetor. And just make sure everything's working right on it. Now we can install the air filter base with the primer bulb in there. And this one's kind of stiff. So we're going to go replace that primer bulb real quick. We got them this far on it, we might as well get it done right. Okay, I got the new primer bulb. So now we'll take this old one out. You gotta push it on these clips. Work it out. And just take your air gun and clean all that debris out of there. So the new one seals and they're good. So where these two little clips are right here, you'll slide it in so they will go in these two holes right here. And you gotta use a standard screwdriver, make sure the tip's not sharp, like a blunt edge. Just push both sides in till it clicks into place. Just like that. And if you want to make sure it works, we'll spray like a little bit of fluid on that hole and it should bubble up. I see some WD-40. See how it bubbled up right there? So let's take that excess out of there. This old one had a crack in it, so that one wasn't no good. Okay, now we're gonna use put a new gasket on here. Drop the pins in there. Now we can go and install this. We'll put this on that breather right there. Get the bolt started. Tighten them up. And that's plastic, so you don't want to get too carried away on that. Now we can go and put a new air filter on there. Like I said, this other one's really dirty, especially inside. It got wet at one time. So I'm going to be using the Stens 100-093 air filter with the Stens 102-091 pre-filter. And this particular motor, it's going to be cutting weeds and debris, so there's going to be a lot of dust and stuff going around it. So it's good to have one of them pre-filters on there. Pop that into place like that. Get them nice and tight. Now we can install that rear tire. Go ahead and tighten that up. There. Now I got to add that oil. I sucked that oil out before, so. And on these motors, it takes 16 ounces, half a quart. It's a Briggs motor, so you use SAE30 oil. So this is completely gone through everything. So all I gotta do now is put some gas in there, and I'm gonna have to use the rope starter because the battery, which is up front here, right here, I don't have one of these batteries on hand. I'm gonna have to order that. So for right now, I have to pull the rope to start it, but I'll get a battery ordered before the customer comes picks it up. But I'm gonna get my tools put away, get it off the table, put some nice premium fuel in there, and we'll see if we can't get this started. So, okay, this got done putting premium fuel in there. Let's see if we can get this thing started up. Now you gotta push a primer bulb. Probably between 3 and 5 times. I push it 3 times. Put the throttle on start. Seems to run pretty doggone good for something someone bought on the aux without even hearing it running. So anyways, I hope you liked the video. I appreciate you watching, and you guys have a good afternoon. Thanks. Bye.